I woke up like this, flawless. Not. Anyways, hey guys, it's me again. I'm really into the I woke up like this thing for the year. It's 2020. Why the hell not? So investments. Let's talk about money, baby. I wrote a book, right? I'm still debating on the title, but it's about budgeting and being fabulously frugal. And I have a lot of tips and tricks in there. Hold on a second. Now, there is something I wanted to add to the book, but I don't know if I can because I already sent it into editing, and it's about investments. So if I can't edit, I'm going to share it with you guys, and if I can, then hopefully this will motivate you to buy the book because there's a lot of really cool, interesting stuff in there. Money. Put it away. Okay? I'm a task rabbit, so I get jobs on a daily basis. I get paid sporadically, so maybe 3 to 5 days after the job is completed. So money's always coming into my account at very different times. It makes no sense whatsoever. So I've chosen to put away anywhere from $5 to $25 every time I have a deposit in the bank, right? Now, where do you put that money? It's okay, everybody talks about investing. How do I invest? What do I do? Okay, Cash App. It's an app you download. It's called the Cash App. You can buy Bitcoin with that. So what you do is you download the Cash App, you link it to your bank account, and then you link it to your debit card. It only works when it's linked to the debit card in your bank account. I don't know why. I think that's so stupid, but whatever. And then you take that money, anywhere from $5, 50 cents, whatever you can, and you can transfer it to Bitcoin. So there are instructions in my book. I can't remember. All I know is that you click, I think, on the Bitcoin thing, and then you add. I really don't remember. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I can't do it right now because I'm using my phone as a camera. But you can add money to your Bitcoin account. Then you have to take that money and transfer it to a Bitcoin bank. So you got to find whichever bank you want to work with. I'm not gonna tell you mine because I don't want you guys to hack me. And you take that money and you transfer it to the bank. And then you need to write the name and the passcode in 5 different places. Because if anything happens to you and you die, that money is lost. And then you got to trust one person in your life. Maybe put it in a safety deposit box, put it in your will, put it in whatever you can do. But somebody needs access to it, because if anything happens to you, they need to access to it. Now, if there's an EMP and all the electricity and the internet goes down, you're screwed too, because that money's gone, because it's virtual money. It's not cash money, But that's also with any money that's in the bank, because then they won't have any records of anything, because most people don't keep their paper statements, which is why you should always keep your paper statements, because if anything happens, you could be this was my last statement. This is how much money I had in the bank. Don't trust those paperless statements. There's a reason they want you to do that, because they can mess with you. Automatic withdrawals are also really, really bad, because sometimes they bill you twice. Sometimes they bill you more than what you're because people don't look at their statements, so they kind of finagle things. Don't trust those things. I've seen it happen. Trust. Okay, so then you can invest in Bitcoin. You can take some money and put it in one of those online trading companies. You find whichever company you're comfortable trading with. I know there's what was it called? I think it's called E-Trade. I don't know because I don't use that, but it's E-Trade. There's Acorn. Well, no. Okay, so this is how it works. Whew. There's just no good angle when I look like this. So there is E-Trade, right? So I think you could put money in an account and then you can buy stocks. You don't have to buy a lot. You could buy 1 share at a time. Don't feel bad. There's some stocks that are a couple of pennies. There's some stocks that are a couple of dollars, $10, $5, because they're new. You want to get in the beginning. Then there's other ones like Amazon that are thousands of dollars. Whatever you can afford, even if it's 1 share, buy it 1 at a time. And then as that company grows and their portfolio gets big, and you don't touch it. With stocks, you can't make money if you touch it. If your stock tanks, guess what? You lost it. Don't try to sell it. Just hold on to it, because you never know, that stock can go back up. That's how it works. They work on fear. If you haven't noticed, this whole planet is based on fear. Everything is based on fear. They get you to follow the rules because you're afraid that you're going to get arrested or that you're going to go to jail. You do things because you're afraid that you're going to die. You do things because, to be healthy, and, everything is based on fear. So What they make money, like rich people know, I've made videos about this multiple times. Do the opposite of what everybody is doing. So if everybody's buying, you sell. If everybody's selling, you buy. Why? Because if everybody's selling, the stock price drops. Guess what rich people are doing? They're buying, 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 buying. And as they buy, the stock price increases, and then they're making more money off of your loss, because you don't know any better. Now you do. Hold on to it. Wait. If you lost it, then guess what? You lost it. Selling it isn't going to do anything. If it's down, give it a few years, it'll go back up. And then you'll make a profit. There's so many stocks, like when that first, anyway, I don't want to talk about that. But like watch a stock. And if you don't know how to use stocks, like what you do is you pick a stock, you click on it, right? And then it'll tell you like 1 month, 5 months, 6 months, whatever, 1 month, 6 months, a year. Click on the 5-year one. So you could see the projections of what the stock has done in 5 years, how much it's grown. You'll see that it dips, it goes back up. So you can get an idea. Like sometimes you look at a stock and it was really high at like $50 and now it's 10. That's a good time to buy. Because if you see that it goes up and down and up and down, that means that it's probably going to go up again. Buy that stock. But also look up the articles about that company to see what's going on. Why did it dip? Did they change the president? Did they have a scandal? Is the company going bankrupt? If the company's going bankrupt, don't buy the stock. That doesn't make sense. But if the company is like restructuring, or they just went through a merger, mergers are a good time to buy. I don't want to get into that, but talk to people about that. Because then your stock sometimes doubles, it splits. Anyway, whatever. So stocks, buy it 1 share at a time. Doesn't matter. IRAs, it's a safer route, not as much of a return, but it's a safer route for people that are like scared to invest and they don't want to lose money. You still might lose money because they invest in the stock market, but you're more likely to get a profit. So they have Roth IRAs for people that make under like 100 or 150,000 a year. Look it up. And you can invest up to a maximum of $6,500 a year. So most people will put $25 away. They say if you're 25 years old or 20 to 25 years old, then you invest $25 a week until the day you retire, you can have well over $1 million, which sounds like a lot of money because of compounded interest. But, and we'll go over compounded interest in a minute. But $1 million in like 40 years is not going to be that much. Just like back in the 50s, $30,000 a year was a lot of money, right? In the 80s, $300,000 a year was a lot of money. Now, $3 million to $300 million is a lot of money. You know what I mean? So like it's relative to the time. So it seems like a lot of money now, but it probably won't be a lot of money by the time you retire. But it'll be something. Something's better than nothing. Invest in real estate, okay? Even if it's we'll talk about that later. Compounded interest. So compounded interest means that you have money, right? There's interest, so it earns more money. So you have more money because of the interest that you earned, and then you earn interest on that new total, and it just keeps compounding. So you're constantly earning interest, which is increasing the amount of money that you had originally, and then you're earning interest on that new total. Compounded interest. Okay. The earlier you get in, the better. I'm 40 years old. I'd have to invest $500 a week to catch up to somebody who's investing $25 a week at 20 or 25 years old. Big difference. Anyways, but you invest what you can, right? If you're in your 20s, save your money and buy a property. Own something. Own it. Because even if it's a 1-bedroom or a studio apartment, save your money, put your down payment, own something. That way, when you find a partner, if they own something, now you have 2 properties. You can rent one, live off the rental income, and then you and your partner can live in another one. Or you can rent both of them and buy a new property together, because now you have a family and you want a bigger house, and now you have 2 rental incomes. Buy something. Stay with your parents as long as you can and save that money and put a down payment on something and buy something. This is what certain people do. They tell you that you want to like move out and be independent and live on your own. No, you don't. You want to stay with your family as long as you can. You want to save as much money as you can. And then you want to buy something. You want to own something. Even if it's a foreclosure, even if it's a tax debt that you bought, like, because some people will, like, if they owe water debt or they owe tax debt, the government can literally like auction their property and you could take that property and own it. off of like $1,000 or $4,000 debt. It's like so ridiculous. They do the same thing with cars. You know, like if you put it in a parking lot and you don't pick up your car for a while, it could be $100,000 car and they can auction it for like $5,000, even though you only owe them like 300, you know, for the parking, or 600 for the parking, plus the lawyer's fees or whatever. So you're losing $100,000 car for $1,000 that you owe, and then they auction it, they get whatever, and then somebody else walks away with your car. So yeah, that could happen. So pay your taxes, pay everything that you owe. Don't play with the government, because they are the biggest gangster and mobsters alive. So then there's I don't get in trouble for that. Then there's auctions. So you could do that. You can do sorry, I had like a Charlie horse or something like this right there. Then there's, so we talked about Bitcoin, we talked about investment, like E-Trade stocks, we talked about IRAs, we talked about auctions. I think that's it. That's what I wanted to add in the book that I forgot, that I figured if it's not in the book, I would talk to you about. I mean, I did talk about all of those things respectively in different chapters, but I never put it all together so that you could see how like that same amount of money could go to different places. Because sometimes people will see that and they're like, how am I supposed to do all of that? You don't have to. You could take $25 one week and put it in E-Trade. You can take $25 the next week and put it in your IRA. You can take but it's difficult because I think our IRAs may have to be automatic withdrawals, but I think you could just put like your own deposits every time you need to. But there's like a process. I don't know if you have to mail a check in, if you could do it automatically. I don't know. I have my financial advisor, Eileen Shinebeck. She's also in the book. She handles all that stuff for me. So I don't even, she's good if you guys ever want a financial advisor. And then you have, she's from Primerica. So she does basically like IRAs and other stuff. I don't know. Just talk to her. I do life insurance, all of that. Life insurance is important. If you have a family, you need life insurance. Like everyone's like, oh, if you pass or your spouse passes, you have to pay for someone to take care of your child because your partner's not there. That income is gone. If you have a mortgage, you could lose your house if you don't make enough money on your own. There's a lot of things that go into raising a family. You need life insurance. If you have a mortgage or children, you need life insurance. Even if it's term. Term is temporary, meaning that you only have it for anywhere from like 15 to 35 years, and then it just disappears, which means if you don't die within that time frame, you lost all that money. But if you did die within that time frame, you're covered and you get a lot of money for the little bit of money that you invested. Does that make sense? It's just for protection. God forbid something happens to you. Your spouse is left alone, already mourning and destitute. Not destitute. That's not true. But mourning and like unable to handle, and then they have to handle the children and the household bills all by themselves. Okay? I don't know. I mean, obviously if you're leaving money behind and you have money, that's different. But if not, whatever. And if you wonder why I make these videos, because some people can't look at someone unless they're absolutely beautiful. Like I've been watching these YouTube videos and you could watch them for hours. They're like the dumbest people sometimes. But because they're so pretty, they're easy to look at. But this isn't that easy to look at. No, I think I'm all right. But I think the information that I give is valuable. And like, I want to turn off the people that aren't meant to hear it. And the people that are just like, I'm just looking for something real. I'm the realest thing you're going to find right now. Well, not really the realest thing, but I'm one of the realest things that you're going to find out there. Because I'm not really trying to impress you or persuade you or manipulate you. I'm literally just telling you the information as a regular person, as if I was your friend and you just came over and I wasn't ready. Like, this is a real deal. So then you have life insurance. Please, if you have a family, get a plan. Be careful. Make sure that when you get the plan, it covers everything. Because I like Primerica because they cover you even in situations where most insurance agencies don't cover you. For 9/11, they didn't cover a lot of people because it was an act of war. So they didn't get covered. All those people that died, insurance agencies didn't pay out on the insurance that they were paying for. Primerica did. So I like Primerica because they're honorable. Are there other insurance companies that did? I'm pretty sure there are. I don't know them because I don't know their story, but this is what I know from the company that I've worked with. So make sure that it's covered for as much as, as much as you can. Then there's like, I know that my family had paid for for my aunt. She recently passed. And my family was paying like $100 a month for her insurance policy. And it was just accidental death and dismemberment. But they didn't know because they don't know about insurance, right? And I didn't look at the policy because I figured they did it right because they're older than me. But just because somebody's older than you doesn't mean they know more. But it also doesn't mean they know less because everybody knows different things, right? So when she died of old age and cancer, she wasn't covered because she didn't die in an accident or dismemberment. It was a weird policy. So make sure that when you have your policy, it covers death, accidental death. If you get a policy and you commit suicide, they won't pay out if it's within the first 2 years. You have to wait 2 years after you buy the policy to commit suicide so that you can get paid out for that. It's weird, but whatever. So that's all I got to say right now. And then if you're not sure, you can contact me. I am a life insurance agent. I'm actually taking my test tomorrow to renew it. I might not get renewed. I don't know. I have to take my continuing education and I didn't do it. So tomorrow I'm taking the test supposedly. I think I could still renew it. If I can, I'm going to do it. If not, I'm not going through that whole thing all over again. But maybe I will because I wanted life insurance and health. And with, I'm with Primerica. With Primerica, you only have, well, I'm not a life insurance agent. So everything I said I could say because I'm not a life insurance agent right now. My license expired. I'm telling you what I know from what I've learned in the past. But I wasn't like a very active life insurance agent. So now I don't have my license. So I'm okay. But if I take the continuing education test tomorrow and I pass and I send it in, then I think I can get my license renewed because I'm still within that window. If you guys don't know, I have a life insurance license for New York. I have a real estate license. I have a notary public. I want to get my health insurance on my Series 6 and 63, but I'm not really sure if I need it at this point because I really want to start investing in real estate soon. So I don't think I'm going to need those other licenses. But anyway, yeah, I'm really smart. Like all I have to do is study for 2 weeks and then I can take a test and pass. It's just process. It's the way your brain works. Like I was just taught to be a good test taker. But I highly recommend being a notary public. You just pull up notary public, government for, how to be a notary public for your state. Right? And then there's a whole bunch of information, you print it out, you study it, and then you take the test. And that's it. I actually bought a software for like $20 or $30 back in the day. This was like 2005. And I took the test and I passed and I've been a notary public ever since. And it's interesting because I worked in real estate. Like I literally just walked into a bunch of businesses and I was like, hey, are you guys hiring? Are you guys hiring? Do you need any help? I can help you organize. I went to every single business for like 10 blocks. And finally this woman in real estate was like, oh yeah, you can help me organize. Her office was a mess. She's my broker. I love her. I've been with her for like 15 years now. And so I came in to help her organize, and then she told me I should take my real estate, she told me that I could stay for a little while. Then she made me the office manager. Then she said, you should take your real estate test. So I signed up for the class. It was like 2 weeks. It was a lot. 8 hours a day, every day for like 2 weeks. And then like the next week I took my test, but I'm a really good student. Like it's what I was brought up to do. Like my mom just made sure that I was a nerd, I was an only child for 11 years. She always bought the highlight books. Every time there was a book fair, I bought like $400 worth of books. Like every day I'd be like, Mommy, can I have more money? She'd give me like $20. I'd buy 6 books. By the end of that night, I read all of them. I was like, Mommy, can I have more money? She's like, you just bought 6 books. I was like, I read them all. And she's like, and she just kept giving me money. Like, this one's a good one, like, like I'm just going to keep it. And she just invested. So I'm a good test taker. And she always told me I had to get a scholarship to go to college and that I had to go to college. So I always studied to make sure that I got a scholarship. And I did. I got a scholarship and a grant. And then I had to take out some loans because then I lost my grant. And then, yeah, there's no way I'm going to make this look pretty, whatever. And then, whatever. So that's my story. Anyway, so become a notary public. So she told me to take the test and I passed, and she's like, you passed? Because I guess most people don't pass the first time. Same thing with the life insurance one. And then I was like, okay. And then she's like, you should be a notary public. So I literally bought like this online course. I studied that. I studied the information that I printed out from the website. I scheduled the test like a week or two later. And back then it was easier than it is now because it wasn't that many people, I guess. And it wasn't that easy. I know. And then I got my notary public license and I used that over there. I used to do a lot of translations for like birth certificates and, translated birth certificates, translated marriage certificates, things like that from Spanish to English. And then years later, my friend came to me and she was like, you should come to this luncheon that we're having. This was like, 4 years ago? And I knew she was in Primerica. And I was like, fine, I'll join it. Kind of like, this is what happened with Amway, where my friend was like, oh, you should. I asked God, I was like, God, I need something. I'm not happy. Things aren't working for me. I need to be part of something. And then my friend calls me and she's like, hey, I just joined Amway. You should join. I'm like, okay. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And then she brought me to a meeting and I like right there, I was ready. Like I just walked in ready to sign up. And they didn't want to sign me up. They wanted me to wait till the new year because apparently we were like, it was like December 27th or 8th. And they wanted me to wait till January 1st to sign up. And I was like, no, I want to sign up right now. Because I knew if I didn't sign up right there, I wasn't going to. And then I didn't. I've been in Amway ever since. That was like 7 or 8 years ago. And then the same thing happened with the life insurance. My friend was like, hey, we're having a luncheon. You should come. It's like women empowerment in business, learning how to save. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Because I had just asked God again, I need something. Please help me. I'm not where I want to be. I need to be around like positive, uplifting people. And I need to make money. And then she called me like this. Usually they call me like within 30 seconds to like 4 minutes of me making this statement to the universe, right? So when she was like, come on, I was like, yeah, sure. So I already knew I was going to sign up. I went there. I signed up. That was Saturday. The next Friday, they had scheduled me for the class. It was like 4 or 5 classes that you have to take. And then you could take the test. So I took the class Friday. So I signed up Saturday. The next Friday, I took the class. The next Saturday, I think, and Sunday, I took the class. Then the Friday after that, I took the class again, Saturday and Sunday. And then the next Friday was the test. And I passed with an 85. And they're like, holy wow. Because most people don't pass the first time. I don't know. But I would not have passed if I didn't take the practice test on the POL website. So, for example, I had done like a 95 or a 97 in the class test. But then when you're actually taking the test that the government gives you, it's a completely different format. So they have these practice tests for you to do on the POL website. This is if you're in Primerica. I never did it because I thought I was like the bomb and like I was so smart and whatever. This was 4 years ago, right? I was like making sure, this was before the accident. And this accident really screwed me up. And then, and like one of the reasons that I didn't continue with my life insurance license is because like I couldn't walk into people's homes. I couldn't go up and down the stairs. I couldn't meet people. Like it was just same thing with real estate. How am I going to show an apartment if I can't go to the second floor? If I can't walk more than a block. It was just like whatever. So then there were practice tests, right? So that night, so the test was on Saturday. So Friday night I had taken a few practice tests and I failed all of them, like 3 or 4 of them in a row. And I was like, but I had learned from the mistakes that I made because when you make a mistake, they tell you the answer. So then finally at the end of the night, I took one more, I think it was the 5th test or the 4th test, and I passed. And I was like, oh my God. The next morning, no, I think I failed 2 and then I passed 2, I think, something like that. Then the next morning I took one and I failed. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking the test. So then I took it again and I passed. So I was really nervous that I was going to fail. But I think because I had failed so many times and that shock in my brain was like, I had retained that information of what I got wrong. Because I was like, I can't believe I got it wrong. Because that's how I am. Anyway. And so then that stayed in my brain so that when I took the test, I then passed. It's very tricky, the wording for the test. It's like, they shouldn't be so tricky, but whatever. And then, I don't know why it does that. So then I got my life insurance license. And then the first time you don't have to renew, which is why I got it again for 2 years. And then this time you had to renew, and I let it expire. I was like, whatever, I haven't even used it. I'm not doing anything with it. I wanted to get my Series 6 and 63, and I didn't do that because I was distracted by this person that came in my life and caused drama and ruined me emotionally. And I just took it too personally. But that's how you know. There are some people in your life that come in and they make you better. And then there's some people in your life that come in and they make you worse. No matter how much you love that person, let them go. Because they don't make you better. And it's hard because that's the one that you love the most. I don't know why we do that. The one that you love the most, the one that you would do anything for. And then you're tested. And I was tested and I chose not to do anything. Because I chose to move forward. So that was one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my life. But I just knew it wasn't good for me, So when you find those people, it's kind of like that TV show. What is it? Wicked, or like about those two people that meet, and had they not met, they would have never been bad together. You know what I mean? Like the Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing. Like if Bonnie and Clyde hadn't met, they probably would have never been Bonnie and Clyde with anybody else, only with each other. So there's certain people that when you meet, you click and it's bad. And then when you meet other people, you click, it's amazing. But that bad love is like so full of like pleasure, and it's carnal, and there's like risk, and it's dangerous, and it's all these other things. Stay away from that. It's not good for you. Then there's some relationships where, like, which is my friendship. I was never in a relationship with this person. Where I was good for them and they were striving and moving forward. I was like the Michelle, but they were not my Barack. They made me worse because they were just unloading all their negative, chaotic, psychotic energy on me, and it was just festering and dragging me down into a hole and pit of despair because my beautiful soul full of light and love could not handle all of that negativity that was being dumped onto me. And they were feeling good because they were dumping that negativity onto me. And I was feeling horrible because they didn't stick around, because you need reciprocation in a relationship. So if somebody's dumping stuff on you, then they need to be there to nurture love and bring you out of it, to refill your soul. Right? So it's okay if somebody dumps stuff on you, as long as they're there to help you out of the hole that they created, right? But this person didn't. They would like dump stuff on me and then feel refreshed and happy, and then run out to the world and share it with the world, get more of their gunk and junk, come back home and then dump more stuff on me, and then leave, ignore me, and come back when they needed to dump more stuff on me. That doesn't work. You need to find somebody where you're constantly healing each other. So even if you dump something on someone, you're still there to help them heal through that, because it's kind of like a reciprocation. It's a circle of life. And then sometimes you're dumping stuff on them, and then you're there to help them heal. Does that make sense? That's a whole other thing. That's the intimacy school. The intimacy school is one thing. The motivation society, which is like all my investment stuff and all my classes, that's another thing. Like everything I do, I have like so many different facets and parts of my brain, which is what the Let Me School You channel is. I just dump everything into the Let Me School You channel. I'm like, here, take it all, figure it out, right? And then there's some people whose brains can't comprehend that kind of information, and they need it like, I'm confused. Like, is this like a channel for finance, or is this like a channel for makeup, or is this like a channel for, because I'm really confused. Like those people, whatever. I have to create separate channels for them because their brains can't function and process different information all at once. So you have to have one channel for like business and finance, another channel for like sex and intimacy and communication, another channel, because their brains it's just like, wait, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. You were talking about one thing, now you're talking about something else. I'm confused. Yeah. Anyway, so we talked about investments. We talked about emotional stuff. We talked about reciprocation of love and energy. I think that covers everything. It's a 30-minute video, so I'm going to go now. But thanks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. I hope this reached the people that it's meant to reach. I hope that people start making investments and start investing in yourself and creating that security blanket for yourself. Because one thing I've learned after this accident is no matter how much you think you are loved or how much you think people care about you, you'll find out real quick when you can't participate and party and hang out and go out and pay for dinners, and how quickly people don't hang out with you. Like not many people came to visit. A good number came. And those are the people that I am like this with and that I will move mountains for. But everyone else became a fair weather friend. And they're on a list that's like, yeah, I can party with you. Yeah, I can hang out with you. But I know that's all you're good for. I learned that no matter how much money you have in the bank, it could go quickly if you get hurt. 8 months is a long time to not work. Make sure you have money. I would say 8 months to a year and a half worth of income, where if anything happens to you and you have a surgery and you're incapacitated, you can survive, right? Not just you and your family. I know Aflac, I don't understand it. They keep trying to hire me because I have my life insurance, and then they'll pay for me to get my health insurance. Or rather, like, give me the information that I need so that I could take the test. I'm debating that because you can work for 2 financial institutions. So I think, no, that's real estate. I don't know if you could do that with life insurance. But that's the kind of insurance that when you hurt yourself, they cover your bills because you pay their insurance. So I would really look into that. I don't understand it, but look into it. So I learned a long time ago, 2 years, that you can't rely on people. You think you can, and you can to an extent, but they have their own problems, and they have their own things that they're going through, and they have their own losses, and they have their own stress. Invest in yourself. Like, after that, I became an avid investor. I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm taking care of me, because at the end of the day, if anything happens, I need to make sure I have enough money to cover my health insurance, to, like my health as I get older, to cover my rent, to cover my necessities. I don't want to live in a senior shelter. I don't want to be homeless. I don't want to be alone. Like, you could pay for help to stay with you so that you're not in a nursing home. So yeah, just, I know these are things you don't want to think about, and you don't have to think about it when you're healthy, but when something happens that's unexpected, you learn a lot. So please, I don't want to beg, I urge you to consider investing as little as $5 a week or more. $5 a day would be magnificent. Just something. I like Acorn because they take the spare change from all of your bank transactions and they invest that. So if you bought something that was like $1.15, they'll take the 85 cents and invest that for every transaction every day. Some people might be like, whoa, that's too much, but I think that's great because I shop a lot. But I also think it's good because it's like saving without even trying. So I want you guys to really think about that. You don't expect it. I didn't expect it. My life was fantastic until I got into that car accident, and it messed me up. So, rock and roll. Rock it out. Have a fantastic day. Start investing. Like, quickly, go to your bank, ask about an IRA, sit down with a financial advisor at your bank. You can, like, download all those apps I was telling you about. You can download, like, E-Trade. I'm not going to tell you the one that I bank with, like, because I don't want people to know any of my personal information. But I'm telling you the ones that I don't work with so that you can work with them, because I don't want you to know anything about myself. But there are other, you can figure it out, investment, like online investment things that you can use to buy stocks. I just say E-Trade because it's the only one that I know that's like generic, that everybody, there's lots of commercials and stuff like that. I know ING used to have one. I think ING became E-Trade. Anyway, and then I talked about the IRAs, that you could do that with any bank. You could do that with a financial advisor. You could do that with Primerica. You could do your personal IRA. You can do an SEP if you're a self-employed person, where you can take a certain percentage of your income and put that away tax-free, and then you pay the taxes later on. So that helps to reduce your income. So like if you're making $100,000 a year, you're in a different tax bracket than somebody's making $50,000 a year. If you can take some money, invest it in an IRA, which is tax-free, now. And then later on, when you're older and you take the money out, you have to pay the taxes, right? So basically you're reducing your income by whatever you're putting away, but later on you have to pay the taxes on it. As opposed to a Roth IRA where you're putting the money in after tax, which means that when you take the money out, you don't have to pay taxes on it. Does that make sense? So traditional IRAs, you put the money in now, it reduces your income, so you're at a different tax bracket, and then you have to pay tax on it later. A Roth IRA is after tax income, meaning that you've already paid tax on it, so that when you take it out in the future, you don't have to worry about it later on. Okay, bye. It's a lot, right?